Hello, 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 and welcome to another uh, Elevation Moments with Elevated, Not Tolerated. So, if you give us just a few moments, we want to make sure that everybody is logged in and ready for another conversation on today. I hope you all are ready and you've got some things all set for you on today. We are. Um, I want you to make sure that you are tuned in. It looks like the airways that be seem to be fluctuating a little bit, but that's okay. We're still gonna keep moving forward. We're gonna keep on doing what we know to do in this atmosphere, if you will. And so I hope that you all have had a marvelous day so far. It's like this, and I can be honest with you. Sometimes, when you're doing something that you know that you're supposed to be doing, the enemy will always come to attack. Let me just say that. And so I don't want you to be misconstrued about that, because I do believe it's important that we set ourselves for have expectations that we can definitely fall upon and we can understand clearly. I thank God for all of the people that continue to support the endeavors here with Victoria Elevates and the things that having been assigned to do, not only because we just want to do it, but because we've been assigned to do it from the Most High. And so, I just enjoy doing what I do. My passion is for the people. My passion is for what God has empowered us to be. Our motto here, portion of our motto here is that we are here to empower, embrace, and educate to be elevated and not tolerated. And we're going to stand on that until the end of time. Can I just tell you? Because there is nothing that's going to stop us from doing just that. Hey, Coach K, thank you so much for joining my forever friend. I thank you so much. I always look forward to being in your presence, because you always give me such great energy, and I love it. And to those of you that have not had an opportunity to tap in with that amazing young lady, I suggest you go out there and follow Kay Clark so that you can hear what's happening with the Journey Life Coaching program that she offers. She's an amazing woman, and we continue to speak her name into the heavens, that whatever He has designed for her will continue to prosper. To all of you that are watching today, to all of you that uh, it's so funny, y'all. But because of who we are and what we do in the system, and I apologize for that interruption. Systems always making us work for it. But this is the thing. I wanna share this with you. I've had two conversations this morning since I've gotten up, and I just feel a need to share this before we get into the conversation. To those of you that are new to watching us, my name is Victoria. I am a certified professional achievement facilitator, and basically what that means is that you know I am a certified master life coach, and my true niche is seeing you achieve every level that you have desired to achieve, right? Personal achievement facilitator. That means I'm here to assist you in any way possible for you to understand what that next looks like, right? As a certified master life coach, my job is to help guide you by the things that you give in the conversation to me that you are in need of. So many times we say things, but we don't really truly offer the things that we really should be offering, right? And so my goal is to make sure that everything that you need, that I can provide you with as your professional achievement facilitator, is to help you guide through that process. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, there have been some people that I've helped that I had to pull the band-aids off, and they didn't feel too good in the beginning. But I promise you, when you have had the band-aid pulled off in a certain way, when it is pulled off in a certain way, this is the thing. you will see the wound would be open, and then I can pour in the alcohol. I almost said Clorox. Pour in the alcohol and let it bubble. See, sometimes we want to put something simple. We want to run at some water over it. We want to put some peroxide on it. We want something that's not going to sting. Baby, can I be honest with you? Some things that you are going through, that we are going through, it requires to have a sting in it in order for us to know that it's there, right? And so one of my goals is, as a professional, a facilitator, professional certified master life coach, is to see you, right, as you would love to be seen. Because the thing is, self means seeing every level form, right? Seeing every level form, not some of the levels, but every level form. It's important that you understand the paths that you are going through, and the stages of your journey that you're going through, and how that can propel you into the next, right? And that's what my job is, right? And so this morning, before I get into talking about goals, because this is a part of goal setting, if you will, is this. I've had a couple of conversations this morning with some amazing people. And one of the things that is apparent to me is that, we have to remain consistent. Can I be honest with you? I'm having one of those physical moments on today. So it took me a little bit longer to get up. It took me a little bit uh, 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 adjusting through my process and still being available to those individuals that needed me at the time that they needed me. But this is what I want to encourage you with. Consistency in everything that you do is highly important, right? When you say you're going to jump a river, I need you to jump the river, because there are many people that are watching us. I'm saying us, that they need to understand, they need to feel that they can trust us. See, this is the thing. One of the things that I just had a conversation with a young lady that I hadn't talked to in quite some time. But one of the things that she and I both agreed upon is that people will see you on one side of this amazing thing called social media, and they'll forget about everything that's behind. See, this is the thing. I don't, it doesn't phase me like it used to be on Sister Sally or Brother John's platform, because my assignment is this platform. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Does that mean that I don't take appointments and sit on other people's program? Of course not. I will sit on your platform. I will come to the interview that God assigns me to. But the main thing is that I want you to understand that when you accept something, when you say that you're going to do something, stick to it. I can tell you right now, there are people that would have told you that they got your back, and baby, you can't find them nowhere near your backside. Can I put it like that? But I'm not complaining. I'm not fussing. I'm just telling you, especially right now in this season, because we're dealing with the holiday season and people are depending on us to stand by our word. Your children are depending on you to stand by your word. If you're still saying Santa Claus, they are dependent on Santa Claus to come. And I'm setting the expectations, setting the correct space. As we talk about in the positive building class, as we talk about building those positive relationships, one thing is for certain and two things are for sure. What you put out into the atmosphere will come back to you. If you're looking for certain people, places, and things to be a part of your journey, those people, places, and things will come to be a part of your journey. What are you truly looking for? That's a part of goal planning as well, right? So when you're talking about people, places, and things, have you tapped into having those strict conversations that will include people, places, and things that can hear your voice? I don't know about you. As a part of a collaboration of books that I have been in, Tina Harmon, thank you so much for allowing me to be in my unique voice. My voice matters in that book, because it allowed us to understand how unique our voices really were, right? My voice has always been unique, but I needed somebody or some platform to pull it out. This is the thing. When you accept an assignment, make sure that assignment is for you. There are many of us that have accepted assignments and we're afraid to stand on it. I read some information because I'm always reading, I'm always studying, I'm always searching to get things as you guys need it, right? And so as I was doing some research, and one of the things that I read was this, that a lot of times we as individuals, we accept assignments for the wrong intentions. And I want you to understand today how important it is for everything that you go out to do, that you have the positive intentions of doing it the correct way. There's oftentimes we as individuals spend too much quality time doing things for the wrong reasons. If you're going to be on the show, be on the show. If you're going to be in the place, be in the place. Don't allow the circumstances around you to keep you from being in that place. My friends, when I think about the positive self-building course and what that means to me as an instructor, can I be honest with you? There are many people that have asked me, hey, can I be a part of it? But being a part of that means that you got to take on the whole armor of being in that class. It means that you have to see things from a perspective of who you are. See, the difference in me and some other coaches, and I'm not going to say that they're bad. The difference in me is because I go to the root. I want you to understand your root connection to where are you going right now in this season. There's too many of us that are not tapping into why things are happening the way that they are happening. Who said that this should happen this way? What has transpired that caused us to get all out of sync, to get out of our pathway. This is the thing. When you get off the path, you got to be able to get back on the path a certain way. Good afternoon, Michelle B. Hammond's in the house. Thank you so much for joining me, my friend. I appreciate you. This is the thing. It's time for you to understand who is in your corner and why they're in your corner. Part of goal planning is having the right people. If you didn't watch the video from yesterday, we talked about collaboration versus conspiracy, because it's important that when you are getting ready to move into your next, that you have the right people in the right place for you, because not everybody has the right intentions. I'm sorry to inform you, but there are a lot of people that do not have the right intentions. Excuse me, I apologize. Seasonal allergies are kicking today. But there are people that do not have the same motivation that you do. We're getting ready to do something this week, maybe even today, that I'm just like, God, what? Do that again? But I'm going to be obedient because of the positive intentions. It is according to the plan that He has assigned to me, right? You got to know your niche. You got to know who you are. So I'm just not a professional achievement facilitator. I'm a certified professional achievement facilitator. There's a difference when you know what you know, and there's a difference when you're walking boldly in what you know. Everything ain't about this or that. One of the conversations I had today, and then we're going to get into these key points that I want to talk about about goal planning. This, as I was talking to an individual today, one of the things that they said, Miss Victoria, is so many people out here saying that they're going to do things and they don't do it, or they have the wrong reason. See, this is the thing. When I say I'm trying to help people, I try to help people on a different. In 2024, things are going to change here. Hello, there's things that you can no longer continue to do if you expect something to change, right? There's things that you have to see changing. And if you're not seeing it change, then that means you need to activate my 3S system again. You need to go back and see what it looks like to have the 3S in activation. Hey, Donnie, thanks for joining my big brother my big little brother here in the house, y'all. I loved his show last night. If y'all missed it, y'all need to go back and hit the replay. My brother be knowledgeable in the musical industry. But when I tell you that if you are not at a place, then you need to activate my 3S, and that's a part of the goal setting. What are the 3S? Let me reiterate what that looks like, right? The 3S process is this. The first S stands for silence. Sometimes you got to move away from the shenanigans and the clutter that's in your ears, right? You got to move away from it, right? And when I tell you that it is important that you have to understand You have to understand what silence really means. I spoke this, and people are trying to gravitate to it, and they're not understanding it. Silence means you. Sometimes you have to separate yourself. That doesn't mean that you get to a place where you're thinking crazy, right? Silence brings on clarity. It clears out the clutter of the brain. Some of us are still full with clutter, and that's the reason why you're not moving to your next. See, people say, "Well, I watched your show." And I go back and I'm trying to see, why did you watch it at? Because it's clear, it's evident that you didn't. But you want to play on that, right? And so sometimes I got to move that clutter of what you said out of my head. Right? That silence will cause you to see things clearly. Donnie, the old song used to say, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. See, this is the thing. Are you clear in what you're hearing? The silence that's in your head. This is the second point. Strategic plan. When you get silent, you can hear the strategic plan that is assigned for you. Some of you are trying to work on projects and things that have nothing to do with who you are. Strategic planning gives you the opportunity to create the atmosphere that you need to have created. I don't know about any of you, but when I sat down and I reevaluated some things, I began to see some things I needed to adjust. I needed to be able to hear and see clearly. I needed to experience some things on a different way. And then that third S comes into play. This for you to show up. Can I even extend that a little bit? For you and God to show up. Doesn't matter what your niche is. It doesn't matter how you flow in it. It will, if you have been gifted, and some of us have been gifted. I look at Donnie and I listen to what he says, and he has been gifted with music. He has been gifted with the production of how the process is. That's a gift, right? But the same thing is, he still has to have a silent moment where he can strategically plan for him and God to show up with his strategic plan that he has assigned to him. You have to understand how important it is to know the true intentions. I don't know who I'm talking to today, but I can encourage you on today that the 3S process does work. Silence, strategic plan for you to show up. Now let's get into this goal talking, right? And I'm glad we're about to get into this. I'm telling you, there's some things that you have got to understand, that you can no longer attempt to portray something and not be something. You cannot continue to have people in your circle that is not truly in your circle. You got to understand some things. You got to understand where this is going in this season. You got to know who and what is around you and why they are in the process with you. There are people, places, and things that are not for you, right? And you got to be able to eliminate that. So when we're talking about goal setting, now that's what we're going to get into this. I want you to write some things down. This is about 3 things that I want to encourage you with that I have researched and I have found to be true, right? This is my truth. This is what I'm going to give you on today, right? As we're moving into 24, I'm going to need you to ask yourself what's on your plate. Right? I'm going to need you to pull out your directives, and I'm going to need you to ask what's on your plate. Right? I'm going to need you to understand how clear it is for you to understand what you are experiencing right now. You got to look at we always want to do these cliché things, and y'all know I'm going to talk about it. We talk about cliché things, but we have no intent to follow through with what it really means. What is really on your plate? I don't care about what's on your table. I want to know what's on your plate, because after the table has been set, what have you put on your plate that you need, that is conditioning you? As you know, my theory is this: if it ain't helping you grow, it's time to let it go. Donnie, I might have put that to a song, because it's time for people to understand that it's time to stop whining and start grinding. Stop whining and let's grind a little bit deeper. And how can we do that? The first thing is, we're going into the goal setting. Those are my fellow coaches. I hope you'll share this with your clients. I hope you will share this with people that you are helping, because this is a time and season where we got to do some things differently with our clientele. We got to be, first of all, we got Okay, that's another part. That's another. Oh, Donnie, Donnie, I'm gonna have to get you to look. I'm gonna have to put that. That's your place. I'm gonna have to get you to do it because you know me. I can say a whole lot of stuff. I can, Donnie, I can break down a whole series of. Let me see. What do you call? I can do a whole series on soap operas and have a whole new jingle. Donnie, we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that one day, Donnie. So the first thing I want to talk about because everything that I'm going to talk about applies to every industry. What I'm going to talk about, it deals with every industry. It deals with every person, personal as well as professionally. It deals with everything that, that you can actually experience if you do it the right way, right? I want you to understand that everything that we're going to talk about is that something that we can all do, that we can all experience, and we can all push to another level, right? So I want you to understand that, right? So when we're talking about goal setting, three of the things that I want to talk about is the first one is reflection and celebration, right? It's understand that you take a moment to acknowledge the things that you have achieved, right? Because sometimes when we're going through the goal process, we always want to think about, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. I want you to take the first official step into goal planning is to look at your achievements. I don't care if it was you went from sitting to walking. That's an achievement. All right. As a diabetic, can I tell you some things that I've recently have come to grips with, Donnie and Kay and Shell, that I have come to grips with, that I have achieved. I have achieved where my numbers ain't in the 300s now. My numbers are now below 200, which is an achievement, right? Because I did something different that I wasn't doing before. See, when you get into numbers like that, you're talking about stroke. Y'all might not understand it, but those are stroke numbers for a diabetic. Right. But so when I think about it, I'm saying these are my achievements. I got that baby down. Now, does it mean I'm going to slip? No, it means I work to a part where I can achieve some things differently. Right. When I tell you that I went through a place where I had to say, what does it look good? How does it feel to be at this place? And one of the things that came to me was that I achieved something, right? I came from a place of here to a place of here. I might not be here, but I'm here. Look at those things that you set out to do in 23 that you are getting to the close of in the end of 23 that you can say now you have done. Accept those achievements. I look at people like Dinah and Michelle and Kay. They started off in 23 doing certain things, but they have escalated those things to a new level. They've been given, they can see, they have the evidence of things that they have achieved. Can I ask you the question? Have you actually sat down and looked at the things that you have achieved? Have you, when you're doing your pros and cons list, look at the things that you actually have achieved? No matter how big, no matter how small, if you achieve something, if you got up this morning, that was an achievement that you need to write down and say, I did achieve it. I mean, when I tell you that it is a place that we need to push, right? Looking at the success rates of some people, if we allow other people to tell us what we succeeded in, they will say that we succeeded in nothing. Can I be honest with you? We did succeed. We did push it to another level. We did make it to another place. Don't let your good works. Okay, I'm going to leave it right there. The second thing is I want us to start thinking about evaluations and adjustments, right? Evaluations and adjustments. I want you to really, no problem, Donnie. You my brother. You always in the house. I love you. Thank you for taking that time. I love you, my man. So y'all gotta understand that that's what collaboration does for you. Even when my brothers and my sisters have to pop in and pop out, they pop in, they pop out, and I'm good with that because we work together. Michelle and Donnie and Kay, we all are collaborators. We work together for the better of the people, and so I'm excited. I thank Donnie for even taking out time to even join us. So I want to take a second here, and I want to shift gears because I want to show you something, and I want you to get a glass of water while I give you a moment to breathe. Those are just some things that we got going on right now, and I want you to be able to uh, be aware of what's happening with the Victoria Elevates and what we're doing. So stay tuned. You'll see more information that's happening, that's on board. The second thing I want to talk about is goals and evaluations and adjustments, right? Because it's important that as we're planning these avenues right now, that you put in some goals and adjusting how you look at that, evaluating the processes that you've been in through. I think, if Donnie was still on, and Michelle and Kay can say that in their processing of what they're doing, they have to evaluate what worked and what didn't work. Right? When you're setting goals, this is one key thing that you need to be able to do, right? After you have celebrated those positive things that you have done, then it's time for you to now begin to look at some considerate some things that you need to adjust, right? And one of those things that I hope that we all can do, and Michelle, thank you so much. Michelle has a program coming up here in the next few weeks. I want you guys to take advantage of that. I want you to be able to see that. I want you to be able to, because part of working together, collaborating, is that we share a lot of things that we're doing. And when you have like-minded, and Kay always uses that phrase, and I always love it. When you have like-minded people working together, it's always effective how we produce and we share information, right? And so I want to thank her for being able to share her platform with me. And as well as sharing her events. Please go out there and check her out. Good morning, Deborah Gilmore, my girl is in the house. Yes, Michelle, I'm going to say that collaboration is very much key. The Collaboration versus Conspiracy Conference will be coming in the month. I can't have it on my calendar, is not in front of me, but I want to say that it is in March. I need those people that are interested in being on the panel to get ready, because we're not holding nothing back this time. We're gonna shoot it. We're gonna shoot it from the best shot. So when we're talking about goals, the first thing we said was, Deborah, I want to catch you up a little bit. The first thing we said about goals is this: first, celebrate those things that you have achieved. So, Deborah, we're gonna celebrate. You got it, Michelle, because I come raw and real all the day, every day. The first thing that you do when you're setting goals is making sure that you celebrate those things that you have achieved. Celebrate those small things, big things, but celebrate. Okay, Daddy gone, Michelle, you got to pick up the music. Cat, okay, I need you to sing. Okay, so the second part is to evaluate and make adjustments, right? So when you're considering goal setting for 2024, I need you to look at some things. And I want to encourage you to evaluate the factors that contribute to the challenges. So, for instance, when you're talking about personal development, what held you back from pushing yourself into what you needed to do? When we're talking about the positive self-building class, building positive relationships, one of the things that I'm encouraging my students is to look at, why do you have certain people in your life, right? That is an adjustment, because you have to look at who is in your corner and for what reason. Right. And sometimes we forget that. We overlook the possibilities of that. And so I want you to understand how important it is for you to look at your challenges, look at some trends, do some research. Maybe some things has changed since you first did something, right? So it's important that you go back and you evaluate those things in order for you to understand what increased in 23 that you may have missed. There's some techniques, there's some goals that I have as a certified professional achievement facilitator, a life coach, that I am going to change in 23, in 24. One of those is a price for my services. Those prices that I have now were effective in 19 and 20. They're not effective in 23. So that means we have to change and adjust it in 24. So when I tell you that it's time for us to evaluate, discuss the importance of adjusting the goal, because sometimes it's not that it was a bad idea. You just needed more information to empower it, to strengthen it, to educate with it. So I want you to be able to look at your goals and say, this is what I need to adjust. If I need $20, that means I got to work double time. If I'm working $5 or $10 an hour. Okay, I'm not good with numbers right now. But if you are looking at increasing your value, you got to say, okay, I'm going to use this for example. I do floor arrangements, right? So if my floor arrangement business, which is truly my passion, but let's say I charge $20 for a table setting in 22, that didn't make any difference in 23, but I used the same pricing grid, right? It's time for you to readjust some things and raise the bar. What you're doing isn't incorrect. You just need to raise the bar, right? So looking at the adjustments, refining it. When you're looking at, as business owners, when we're looking at the adjustments of what we need to do for the following year, we have to adjust the model that we had to fit the market that we really want to reach out to. And with that being said, I want to show you something else that's new for us, that's coming, that is going to be more pushed in 24. So check this out. All right. So as you can see, some of the things that we're doing here with Victoria Elevates is that we're upgrading some of our services. One of those is the elegant elevations. We had to go back and reevaluate. We had to refine the process of what it looks like and what it needed, the facelift that it needed, right? And so we went in and we had to refine it, and we didn't wait for 23 to end. We refined it before, excuse me, we didn't wait for 23 to end and try to reproduce it in 24. We're refining it now so that in 24 it'll be ready. Right. So in other words, when you're doing evaluations of your process, when you're looking at upgrading and increasing what you need to increase, you don't wait till it's the end before you get started. Evaluation processes you need to have in your goal planning. You need to be able to have it at 3, 6, 9 months, 3, 6, 9, 12. So at every quarter, we as in goal planning, you should be looking at the statistics, the factors, the how it changed through that process. Sometimes the reason why we're not gaining what we need to gain is because we're not evaluating at the appropriate time. So you need to start your evaluation processes at a different time. You need to be incorporating different things at a different time. You need to be able to see things at a different time. When you are actually going through reestablishing your goals, you need to be able to see the fluctuation, right? One of the things that we do, as well as my other colleagues, is that we do evaluations periodically to challenge what we're doing. Right? If you can challenge what you're doing yourself and you can evaluate it yourself, then the process becomes easier. Goal planning just doesn't start today. Every day is an opportunity, but let's take those opportunities into perspective, right? Let's look at them on different levels. Let's say to ourselves, I've got to be able to challenge my inner to see how far I'm going to go. Some of us need to challenge our inner personalities. That's a goal that you have to set. Can I be honest with you? Sometimes we need to separate goals. We need to have, for me, this is something that has worked for me for the last year or two, is that I'd separate my business goals from my personal goals. You know, sometimes I have to throw my personal goals out the window. But what I'm telling you is very effective, is that sometimes you cannot group the two together because you will get overwhelmed. Right. So one of the challenges that you need to do is be able to separate what is personal and what is business and professional. Right. So what's professional for me is not, it doesn't have the same goals in some areas of my personal life, because if that's the case, there's certain things that I would incorporate. So sometimes even when I came back to doing the lives, I had to physically sit down and say to myself, what can the body handle? Right. Can the body handle 7 days a week doing the show? And it also took me back to being obedient to what God had purposed in my life. And that was what God said, you need to reevaluate how you do things. You need to evaluate based on the plans that He has for me and not the plans I have for myself. Right? Because everything that you plan, you have to be able to look at it as a benefit to you versus a hindrance. Right? The third thing I want to talk about as far as goal planning is this: having a strategic plan, right? As you know, I'm a firm believer in my 3S process. My students know I live by it. Silence, strategic planning to see something show up. Right. So strategic planning for, the points that you need to have in that arena is this, that we want to develop things that we can see, we have margins set for it, right? So if your goal is a career change, right? Mine is a career change for me. Then there's some advancements that I need to see. There's some things that I need to change about it, right? There's some things that I want to be able to implement differently. So if the goal is to achieve something, you have to start creating a timeline. One of the things as a coach is that my clients have, depending on what program they decide to be in, they have, as a one-on-one coach, you have, there's a 6-month process off the bat. I'm not going to tell you I can help you move a mountain in 30 days, because baby, I can't. There's some things that I can give you evidence on and statistically prove to you that in certain industries, it takes 6 months for it to even develop, 6 months for it to become a process, 6 months for you even to understand it, because you have to repeat certain certain things over. Now, I'm going to tell you, some things that you have been repeating doesn't need to be repeated, but there's typically a time frame that we need to put strategically on things that we want to occur, or to happen. If you don't have a set date for something, this is what I tell my students, this is what I tell my clients. One of the first things that I want to make sure that you understand is put something on a date. You know, I'm telling you that when you're strategically breaking some things down and creating a timeline for it will enhance you even the more. So put a target date on it. Put a date on it. If you want to, and this is even, you know, hey, can I be honest? I'm not the health and wellness coach. I got people that do that. But check this out. If I want to lose 20 pounds, I got to put a date on when I want them 20 pounds to be gone, baby. Right? I have a doctor's appointment in a few weeks. I gotta have I gotta see some differentials in some numbers before I get to that point. So whatever I gotta do, I gotta strategically have a plan to get to that date. So setting a date holds you accountable, right? Strategic planning means that you are setting intentional goals for something for you to meet. Right? I need you to, in your planning process, is to have a strategic plan set. If you need assistance with setting that strategic plan, reach out to me. We can do some things with that, because it's important that you understand how that process goes. Do you do what I say? It's going to take me 6 months for me to show you how to do a strategic plan? No, what I will tell you is, if you are determined, if you are committed to it, that's the key. I can tell you all day. I've been working with some people and I said, you know, this is what you need to do. Well, I got this that came up. Well, this is the thing. We all have, I almost cursed. We all have ish that comes up. Can I just say that? We all have things that come up, but in that you have to be committed to something. You have to have intentions to getting something completed by a certain day. If that means shutting down everybody else to get it done, baby. If it means that you got to walk in the park and write the vision, make it plain. Whatever it takes, you have to be committed to your process. Being committed to your process means that you will block out anybody and everything out of your way that's not helping you grow. Right? It's time for us to sit down and do some identification process, emphasizing that, you know, how important this potential thing is for you. Right? When you're looking at strategic planning, you look at the obstacles as well as your wins. I'm telling you, you have to, in a strategic plan, you have to have an ABC plan. I know what we say as Christians, you know, we don't have to have a B plan. I'm sorry. I think God always had a B plan. That's just my feeling. Don't y'all try to church me and put me down and knock me out. And then when I die, you start talking good about what I just said. But at the end of the day, I do believe that there's things that God has given us the opportunity to understand that you have to be strategic in everything that you plan to do. Let this mindset be in you. You have to be strategic in your mindset, right? There's things that we have to accomplish on a certain way. And the way we do that is having a plan of action to do so. When I tell you it's important how you show up, right? And how you show up in the best place is being able to make sure that you have a strategic plan in place, right? So today we talked about these goal settings. The 3 things that you need to be in place for your goal settings is to make sure that you're reflecting on the good things that you have accomplished. Be good, small, bad, or indifferent. Your accomplishments, your achievements is exactly what they are. It's time for you to pat your own self on the back and say, baby, I'm a winner in spite of. I've completed the task in spite of. The second thing is making sure that you do some time where you go back and adjustments and you look at evaluations. You see what you didn't accomplish and why that is. Or you even look at it and say, what can I do better? See, evaluation doesn't mean that you didn't do it right. Evaluation means that you did it right, but you need to do some other things differently to make it a success. That's evaluating and making adjustments. And then the final thing is having a strategic plan. I truly believe in having a strategic plan, even in the process that I'm going through for myself. There's some things that in 24, y'all going to be saying, oh, that girl that went all the way to the opposite side of the river. Nope. What I'm going to tell you is that when you see that it's not working, it needs to be fixed. This is the other thing. When you have the right people in your corner, when you have the right people speaking life into what you do, those people that have the right intentions can help you see what you can't see. right? That's why I have some people that I deal with. This week has been a week where I've been talking to strategic people who have seen me work some things and have now are giving me some strategic critiquing that has helped me. Baby, 24, y'all gonna be, look. Kay used to say, Kay, oh Jesus. Kay used to say it's about me, and I'm gonna say, Kay. There's gonna be a time and 24 people are not gonna be able to reach me. It ain't gonna be like it used to be. Time brings about a change, and the change is happening now. So these are three things I want to talk to you about goal setting and having your mindset in some things that you need to do. On the downside, on the flip side of that, don't allow this to be the last time that you look at your goals. Look at your goals. I have a board, and you can't see it behind me because I got the virtual board. But if you can see behind me, there's a board that I have on my wall that strategically there's things that I have planted on those dates that I have to complete, which is why today, when I get off of here, there gonna be some things I can't be lollygagging with, right? Because in the emphasis, okay, I love it. When I tell you that when you look at things on a different level, you're able to process it. Building the positive relationship with yourself is important more than anything in the world, right? When you start looking at these things from a different perspective, Kay, that's a great statement. Thank you. When I tell you that we have to be able to look at where we started and where we are right now and what transitioned, right, in that process. Some of us are getting older. I'm looking at the gray. Child, I got to do something with that. But that's wisdom that's coming forth. And I need you to understand it. I need you to take out some time and join us in our positive self-building course. We're talking about building positive relationships right now. I want you to be a part of that. You still have time to register for the event. We're not going to close the doors on it until after this Saturday, because after this Saturday, it won't be no need, because you would have missed everything that we've already taught that's going to lead you up to this point, right? So take advantage of it and join with us in class this Saturday. We're getting class at 8:45. I'm not going to tell you what time we get out because that's another thing that we're going to change in 24, hopefully. But guys, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you spending moments with me with elevation moments. I appreciate you with the highest with that. If you have not registered for the Paint and Vision event that is happening here in High Point, North Carolina on January the 20th, I invite you to go ahead and register now, because when the early bird registration fee is over, it will be over. It will go strictly to what we have publicized. It will go strictly to that part, and that's what we're going to be dealing with. Vendors, if you are interested, please reach out to me so we can get that information to you so that you can go ahead and register before December the 29th. And the reason why we're asking our vendors to register before December 29th is because we're doing a full advertisement for the event, and we want your names, your businesses to be a part of that. We want people to be able to see you being a part of the event, but we want people to register. We are also looking for sponsorships. Those of you that are business owners or even individuals that would love to sponsor a portion of the events for Victoria Elevates, please look for a package that will be available coming really soon, probably by the end of the day, because we're upgrading people. We're moving to the next level. You can't do the same thing that you did in 23. So with that being said, I will see you on Friday. We are coming back on Friday, Fresh Cut Friday. You don't want to miss it. You want to be with us. Fresh Cut Friday is going to be amazing this week. We're going to have some more fun with it. I hope that, some of you will be able to, I don't know, I might do something a little bit different on Friday. I might actually allow people to be on the actual show with me if you are free, to be actually on camera with me and have a conversation. We will see. Also coming at the end of the month, we are going to be doing a wrap up on Uncensored Conversation. We're going to be having the best of 23 on Uncensored Conversations. So you'll be seeing some of that the last few Sundays of the month. And we're going to be doing a special, and I can't tell you the date for that because it's still in the process. But we're going to be having some people that have been with us, some people that we have had been on with us on the show. We're going to have them to come on as a closeout to talk about what they got coming in 2024. So you don't want to miss that event as well. So guys, until then, until Friday, I want you to always remain empowered, embraced, and educated to be elevated and not tolerated. We'll see you Friday right here at lunch.